Hello guys, welcome to the webinar. One more time. This time we are here for with open money to talk about the financial year end. Welcome everyone. Kundan Kumar has said hi Kundan. So guys, जो भी हम लोगों को देख रहे हैं, whosoever is watching us, please drop a hi in the comment section so that we know that you are here. You're watching us, so that if you have any questions also, we'll take up the questions also in the final part of the webinar, so you can drop your questions also in the comment section. But please, before that, please drop a hi in the comment section. Let us know your name. If you have any business, let us know the business name. What industry specific are you? Do you have the business in? Let us know that also. So we'll just wait for another 2-3 minutes for more people to join in. We already have around 12 people joining in, so we'll just wait for a few minutes for people to join in, and then we can start. Mukul Sharma says hi Mukul, welcome to the webinar. Please drop your, if you have a business, please drop your business name. Like what kind of business do you do? Yeah, we already have almost 16 people joined us today. Hello guys, please drop a hi. We have a very exciting webinar today for you guys. We'll be talking about financial year end. As you all guys know, this has just happened, like 31st March is from the April to the 31st March is called the financial year end. It's called the financial year, and 31st March is the financial year end. And there's if you have a business, whether it's a small business, medium size, large size, whether you have a startup, whether you have an SME or an MSME, whether you are a chartered accountant or an engineer, even if you are not in a business, if you are a salaried employee also, then also the rules of TDS for businesses also. There are different kind of rules, so they have to maintain everything, compile everything, give a report of their balance sheet for the tax purposes. If you are a GST, GST SSC, then you need to, for your input tax credit and everything, you need to compile everything. So financial year end is a very important aspect for any businessman, any community of businessman, because this is what we've been talking about from the last couple of months. Usually business people are very stressed during this time, because during the whole year they have done multiple things like different expenses, GST input credit and all of that, and in the month of March or before that they need to compile, they need to check your payroll, every benefit that you're giving to employee, whether that is you need to check whether you deducted TDS or not. Everything has to be compiled. So the objective of this webinar is to to get into the planning side of things. Since the 31st March, the financial year end is already over, so we will be talking about that also, that what needs to be done to compile that in a more structured way. Apart from that, we'll talk about the next year planning, because this is what I've realized, and I've talked to a number of businessmen. This is what they also told me, that during this time the more focus is on the things that was done before rather than the things that are coming ahead. So we'll be giving you simple tricks, simple tips, and we have a esteemed panel with us. We'll be giving you tips on taxes, on payrolls, on different things, so how you can manage it better, basically how you can manage your entire business finance better, in a much more structured way. So since, because this is April, this is the first month of the financial year, so if you start planning right now, if you start doing things now, from now on, exactly, the pressure at the end of the, whether it's December or whether it's any tax pressure or whether it's the 31st March, the financial year end pressure, the pressure is gonna get divided between a number of years, number of months, so that you can focus more on the growth side of the business rather than just the finance and the the accounting part of it. So we have almost like 21 people joined here today. One second. Sorry, one second. Just check. Yeah. So so we have almost 21 people joined here today. We'll just start. So guys, before moving forward, I would just like to introduce our panel. We have Mr. CA Kunal Gandhi with us. This is not his first rodeo with us. He has done a couple of webinars with us before. We got a lot of positive comments about Kunal of how he explained things in a much better way. So that's why Kunal is here again with us to shed some lights on the financial year-end things and the tips and tricks for businesses. So welcome Kunal to the webinar.
Thanks, Mohit. Hello, everyone. Hoping everyone's had a very good, year 21-22, and hopefully you get a very good taste of 2023 and a more successful year.
Thank you, Kunal. And welcome. And for the first time, we have CA Ramya with us. She's also a chartered accountant. She has almost 5 years of experience in the indirect taxation part. I forgot mentioning Kunal has almost 7-8 years plus experience in the finance control side, and Ramya has almost 5+ years experience in the indirect taxation part, which is GST. She's been coordinating with, she's been managing, she's been helping different businesses regarding their GST compliances, regarding their input tax credit compliances. So I'm very happy Ramya is here with us today. We have a lot to talk about, a lot of information we can get out of Ramya for our viewers. I am hoping you guys stay till the end. I'm pretty sure you will kind of get some important aspects from this webinar. So welcome Ramya. Welcome to the webinar.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mohit. And I welcome everyone who has joined us today. And I hope this next year will be more prosperous for you than any other years. And I hope that this webinar will actually give you an insight into what all tips that are there, which you can adopt it so that your year goes by smoothly and your March 31st also goes by smoothly.
Sure. Thank you, Ramya, and welcome to the webinar. One more time. This is your first time in the webinar. She has done a lot of webinars for tax professionals, for chartered accountants regarding GST, for other businesses. So I hope we get a little, a side of information from for our viewers also, for Open Money viewers also. So I am hoping everybody has joined in now, because we'll be starting the webinar very soon. Guys, I would like you to stay that, I would like to say that please stay till the end of the webinar. We have a contest also coming up. You can win exciting cricket merchandise. We'll come to that a little part of the webinar later. But starting with this today, as I told you, the introduction about the webinar, right? About the objective of the webinar, that we're going to be talking about the financial year end that just happened and how you can plan for the next year, what are the different kind of budgets, what you need to do, regarding GST. Ramya will tell us what are the different dates that you need to be taken care of. Kunal will tell us about expenses, about payroll, what you need to do, how you can, refine your financial strategies in such a way that you can make much more cash flow much more strengthen, your balance sheet and profit and loss become much more strengthened during this whole part of the year. So guys, I start with this. So once again, guys, we have almost 19 people joined us, so we'll start the webinar and soon people can join us, guys. So I would like to mention that, guys, if you have a businessman, if you have a business that is small, medium size, large size, startup, SME, MSME, this is a webinar that will help you in understanding the finance part of things, to understanding how you can plan better for the coming year. So if right now also we'll be starting. So right now also you can share this link with if you have friends who are businessmen, you can share the link with WhatsApp group in some way. So these people can also join us. We have a webinar for an hour. We'll be talking about a lot of things. So please share that while you're here. So we'll start with the webinar, guys. Ramya, Kunal, everybody is here. We'll start. So the first basic things that people are confused about is what is fiscal year, what is financial year, what is assessment year, because according to some people the year means it starts with January, ends with December, but financial year end doesn't work like that. It works in a different way. Fiscal year is another thing. Fiscal is a term which in budgets also very many times it's mentioned, fiscal budget and all of that. So from Ramya, I would like to understand, Ramya, if you can just give me a brief to the audience also as well, that what is the difference between a fiscal year, financial year and an assessment year?
Right. So we are starting right from the basics. And so now the three words that we're going to see about is fiscal year, financial year, and assessment year. So first, fiscal year, if you see the normal meaning of that, it is just generally a year, a 12-month period where companies and governments use it for financial reporting, use it for budgeting. In India, if you see, the government, when it does any budgeting or its financing or accounting, that for that they use the term like fiscal year. So if you would have seen the budget, you would have heard our finance minister speaking. She would have used the term fiscal year. So fiscal year is generally used in India by the government and by the RBI. Next financial year, I hope everyone is aware of that. It is a 12-month period starting from 1st April to 31st March, where everyone does their accounting and finance aspects. Correct. And third is the assessment year part. So assessment year is nothing but the year in which your income is assessed under Income Tax Act, right? So for instance, for financial year 2021-22, when will you be filing your returns? When will you be assessing your tax? You'll be doing that in the next year, right? You will be doing that in financial year 2022-23. So that is the year which is called the assessment year, right? So these are the three basic things that I've covered, Mohit: fiscal year, financial year, and assessment year.
Okay. Thank you, Ramya, for this. I hope our viewers got an understanding of what fiscal year is, what financial year is, and what an assessment year is. So basically, financial year starts from April and ends at March, and assessment year is the next year when your actual of that income get assessed in the next year. So this is what a difference between financial year and assessment year. Many people have asked this before, so we thought we'll start from the basic. Next, I wanted to just brief about why the first month of financial year is very important, why we are doing this webinar. For our audience, I would like to, tell them that, since we work with B2B businesses, we work with a lot of businesses, whether it is MSME, we work with a lot of chartered accountants who help a lot of businesses in getting their taxation and everything filed up and everything set up. So, during the end of financial year, as a business person, you have to do a lot of activities like preparing your tax return, working out your deductions, conducting your stock audits, updating your records and everything like that. But in all of this, while doing all of this, there is an opportunity for businessmen, to also to review, plan and prioritize your business goals. So basically, you've been already doing the compilation, right? So you can use those information, you can use those data to plan for the next year. So this is what the objective of today's webinar is, to tell you how simple little tricks, because Ramya and Kunal are both chartered accountants, 8+ years of experience, 5+ years of experience in their respective fields. They know a little tips and tricks there because they have helped a lot of businessmen, in maintaining that record of how you can make your life easier, how you can make your business finance easier, and you can focus more on the growth side. आप business expansion में ज़्यादा time लगा सकते हैं, आप दूसरी चीजों में ज़्यादा time लगा सकते हैं, rather than just compiling up. So in this session only, let's moving forward. Let's just go, as we talked about financial year, fiscal year, assessment year. Let's go to another basic question which a lot of people ask is just Kunal, from Kunal, I would like to understand if Kunal can give me like a brief 4-5 points of the basic checklist. If I'm a businessman and this is the 7th of April today, what do you think I should do right now? That will help me plan better, that will help me organize better.
Right. So, Mohit, this is actually a very good time for a lot of businesses, to sit back, spend some time analyzing what happened in the last year, right? Quite often I've seen through the journey, through my career is also that, a lot of businesses, tend to close up their last year little later on and do not get adequate time to plan for the next year. While we see more, large businesses, while they do this effectively, by managing or by continuously reviewing, their projections, where they want to reach to. But, for a lot of this MSMEs and SMEs, this is a very important, aspect that they also need to start looking into, considering the competitive landscape that we have. मतलब किसी को भी एक ऐसा वक्त निकालना चाहिए जहां पे they can sit back and analyze के खर्चा कहाँ पे हुआ, किस चीज पे खर्चा हुआ, did I, how much money did I spend on marketing, how much money did I spend on salaries, was that enough, do I need to do a little bit more, right? With the existing resources, where did I scale up to, how much did I scale up to, right? And how much extra resources I would need to scale up to that X number, right? We all know that, yes, resource will always be a constraint for everyone, right? So that's the beauty of the business, right? With limited resources, how much can you scale up? And and this is the best way that reflect on the last year, analyze your spends, right? Analyze that where all you could, play with margins. Let's take an example. I started a relationship with a vendor. Okay, stating that, okay, let's start the relationship. I will give you orders.
Correct.
I'll give an example. Say कोई कपड़े के business में है, retail में है. He would buy from one particular vendor because he has a very good collection. So I would say that, okay, let's start the order. Let's start the business. In the first day, I would have given 100 pieces of order. Okay, seeing a very good response, he can, if he looks back, okay, fine, what, instead of 100, I've done a business of 150 with him.
Correct.
Okay, then like, what do we do? Then let's meet, let's discuss with him, negotiate the rates with him. Who knows, you end up saving 1% of your margin. That's a huge percentage, right? So that's why it's very important to go back and analyze what happened through the last year, and in accordance with your resource requirement, plan for your next year. Now, when I say plan for next year, one more important aspect is that, when especially I tell this for largely sole proprietors, who run their business as a closely held business, right? There, they don't factor in the savings that they would expect from a business. Simple सी बात है, अगर आपने धंधे में पैसा लगाया है, you would expect कि आप at least 12% या 10% या जो भी है आप निकालो.
At least, yes.
उसको you have to break down into monthly targets. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि मार्च हो गया, चलो अब मुझे बिजनेस में से पैसा निकालना है. This will help people that monthly basis पे how we can plan things better, and this will ease up their process. ऐसा नहीं रहेगा कि मार्च में एक टेंशन वाला सिचुएशन नहीं रहेगा कि अब मार्च में आ गए, what is my savings. So that's why business planning is very important by looking into last year's data.
Correct. Okay. So Ramya, would you like to add anything to this particular point? Any checklist regarding any GST compliances that all the businesses should take care of, or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, since when it comes to GST, due dates is the word that comes to our mind, right? So many due dates every month, not just one return, two returns if you're doing your monthly returns, right? So it is important that we plan our work accordingly, right? We know that GSTR 1 is to be filed by 11th. We know that GSTR 3B is to be filed by 20th, right? So, and we know that TDS has to be paid by 7th and quarterly advance taxes by 15th. So because we know the dates properly, it is important that we set a deadline for any task. I'll give you a small example. We'll go in detail later also. But one small example is that, that GSTR 1, the GSTR 1 has to be filed by 11th, right? Okay. So at least by 6th or 7th, your reconciliation of GSTR 1, your reconciliation of your sales should be ready, right? Once your sales for that month is ready, you can, file your returns properly. But by that time, there's one more thing to be noted, that by 6th or 7th, your ITC also should be ready. Why? Because if there is a vendor who has actually, given you their supplies, but not yet filed their GSTR 1, you can follow up with them and tell that, okay, last month you have not filed GSTR, please file GSTR 1 for this month, right? So that is again important. So this is one small example that I can give for GST because it is repetitive every month. So similarly, you can have systems for TDS payments or advanced tax payments as well.
Sure.
Right. And one more, three other points that I wanted to add is, mails and all. So once there is a mail that you have received, make sure that you see that mail only once. So either you see the mail and you reply, or you delegate it to some other person, or you, archive it or delete it because it's not required. Sure. So a mail should have been seen by you only once. That is an aim that you can have, so that you don't spend time in replying to various mails, keeping them unread, and that will take a lot of your time. So these are small pointers, I thought. And also, in case you have repetitively used documents like invoices or letters or emails. For example, emails that you want to send to your customers, reminding them for payments and all that. In that cases, you can have templates so that you can once you have templates, you just need to change the name, change the invoice amounts and everything else, so then you can send it off immediately whenever it's required.
Okay.
And one more point that I really felt is important is where you can automate your bank feeds into your accounting software directly. So whatever entries are coming into your bank, you can get it directly into your accounting software, so that will help you automatically take care of the bank reconciliation. You needn't spend time on reconciling your bank statement and your accounts.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Apart from that, also maintaining of your records, because a finance team of any company will be burdened with a lot of documents, whether it is physical or whether it is virtual documents, right?
Correct.
So it is important that you have an archive of your documents, and maintain it folder wise. That may help you and save your time whenever you want to access it later in future. You can use it immediately to find out what tax implications or obligations you have, and then you can on real-time basis view that what is going on in my company as of now.
Correct.
You can see whether all the compliances are going on properly, like PF ESI compliances, and then you can easily show your bankers that this is my net worth as of now, this is my finance position as of now, and based on that I can you can negotiate with the bank for borrowing of funds, right? So for this, if you keep all the records ready, it will be very, very helpful to use it in different kind of circumstances.
Sure.
And last but definitely not the least is the technology aspect, right? So especially after the pandemic, we have seen that the world has gone technology driven, right? So everywhere there has been there is tech part of it, because right from UPI to e-invoicing, accounting, everything else. So you can, for example, adopt a cloud-based accounting or cloud-based HR system, which will give you reports, which will give you records in a matter of minutes. So whatever time you saved in compiling reports, whatever time you saved in creating those reports, creating those MIS reports, you can use that time to make quality decisions based on those reports, which will help you grow your business. Because that is the ultimate thing that every businessman wants. He wants to grow his business rather than spend time in generating reports or creating all these reports. Correct. So these, I feel, are very, very important pointers. It may seem small, but it's actually very, very important. If you adopt it on a day-to-day basis, it will be a smooth functioning of the entire year for the finance team.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Ramya. So for the people who are listening to, to kind of summarize what Kunal and Ramya said. So what Kunal said is to basically review your finances. Okay. So by reviewing your finances, what he meant was that you can negotiate your older contracts also, from the supplier, from the person who've taken any interest loan, or, with your employees, you can, renegotiate those contracts and get them, you can get yourself a better deal if you think you're doing much more for them rather than what previously promised. So, you can do that. Apart from that, what Ramya mentioned was, the first thing he mentioned was GST. You should always make sure that you have all the dates and all the timelines lined up at the start of the year, so that you don't forget and you don't get penalized, or you don't have to pay interest on that amount. So, at least, note down all the important aspect, all the important dates and all. We'll come to that later of what GST ka thoda sa detail mein we'll talk about. But basically, about advance tax payments, about, when are you going to pay the TDS, at least note down all the payment terms, all the payment dates, so that you don't miss out on that, because there's a lot of penalty and a lot of interest there. Apart from that, she also mentioned two very important points. One was, to organize your records. This is why we are doing it. Here this on a month of April, so that you understand this, why organizing your records is very important for this. And same where technology comes in. Now this is where open money comes in. As open money comes with a business bank account with a virtual card. So you can manage your accounting, payment, taxes, everything, payroll, everything in one software. As Ramya mentioned, it is always better that you have your bank account linked to a software, so whenever the money is coming in, whenever the money is going out from your bank account, it's already been accounted for. The expenses already been in the books, it's accounted for. So it's very important. So this is what open money does. you can incorporate, if you have multiple bank accounts, multiple current accounts in our Open Money dashboard, you can link all your current accounts right then and there. You can see the statements, you can see the balance, you can see of all the 3-4 accounts or 5 accounts, how many accounts you have. Apart from that, there is expense management. Our business account comes with a expense management tool where you don't have to do much, manage expenses and all of that. Plus you can manage your taxes and all of that. So you should definitely, if you are not up till now using Open Money, you should definitely check it out. We have some free trials also, so you should go, and for your business you should at least try this at least once, so that you understand how much time and how much effort can be saved. All right, so this was the summary. Now there's also another thing that I get a lot of questions, or as a moderator, or if I talk to businessmen, is about the financial statement. So there are terms like balance sheet, there is a term like P&L, there's terms like cash flow statement and all of that. So Kunal, you being a financial controller for more than 8+ years, you understand all of these terms, at the back of your head, the terminology and everything. But for a normal businessman, they know these terms, they know balance sheet, they know P&L, but they don't really understand the importance of it. Of how to look at it, what to derive from it. So if you can just, for you viewers, if you can just go through this and let me know how do you read that, or what are these?
Right. So Mohit, financial statements plays a very critical part for every businesses. In fact, a lot of people make informed decisions, basis the financial statements. जैसे कि financial statements में कुछ ratios काफी important होते हैं. जैसे gross profit वो है जिसमें what's your, आपने 100 रुपीज का आइटम बेचा, अगर 60 रुपीज उसमें आइटम का कॉस्ट लगा, तो इफेक्टिवली आपका मार्जिन 40 रुपीज है. उस 40 रुपीज में से आप अपना मार्केटिंग एक्सपेंस प्लान कर सकते हो. यू कैन प्लान फॉर योर सैलरीज, यू कैन प्लान फॉर योर अदर ऑपेक्स, राइट? So that's how gross margin plays a very important role. So that's a part of P&L or ratios that I say. Then there are other important ratios, जैसे कि आपके नेटवर्थ क्या है. A financial statement net worth बताता है. Now what is a net worth? Net worth वो है कि आपके assets minus liabilities को निकाल दें. Assets minus external liabilities. External मतलब trade, आपके जो trade payables हैं, आपके जो taxes dues हैं, वो सब अगर निकाल दें, what's your net worth? Now net worth plays a very significant importance role कि जब आप whenever you go to a bank for raising a loan, that time they look at this net worth, right? Apart from that, current asset current liability ratio. Current asset current liability ratio इसलिए important है because current asset is something that will be converted into cash into next 12 months. Current liabilities is something that you have to settle in cash in the next 12 months. So effectively आपको ये पता चल जाता है कि over the next 12 months आपका cash flow positive रहेगा या negative रहेगा, right? So this is another indication for your future financial planning. What is your current asset current liability ratio, right? Correct. So these are the couple of ratios that I can easily pull out from balance sheet and P&L. Now cash flow is a very beautiful statement which gives you a summary of what is your sources of income, okay, for which you have received the money, and where all you have spent the money. In the initial, that time when we spoke about, right, we said review your activities for the previous year. Cash flow statement will give you a perspective that where you have to be next year. How much cash did the business generate at the end of the day? How much cash can it generate the next year, right? That is the importance of cash flow. So for me, financial statements is a very important tool to understand the critical ratios of how the business is performing. Let's take an example. I'm given the same example of a retailer who's into garment industry. If his gross margin is only 2%, right, he's going to incur losses because he has to pay salaries, he has to pay rent, correct, right, marketing expenses. So effectively, he will never be able to make money, right? So that's why that's why having the financial statements up to date or year-end financial statements is very important. And another important aspect is financial statements should not be prepared once a year. At least to start with a habit, you can start on a quarterly basis. And then, eventually every month you can review your financial statements of where you are. So that's why, these three are very important aspect of reading financial statements. along with that, some of the ratios that I said, gives you it's a very handy tool for you to plan for your next year.
Understood. Okay. Thank you, Kunal, for this. So guys, this is what the objective was of today, to let you know about the different things, how to read about it. So when the next time you see your balance sheet, you see your P&L, at least these 2-3 ratios you can look into is what Kunal mentioned. People who have missed this, or people who want to watch it again, this will be available on our YouTube channel also, after the live session is over, so that you can go and watch this video again. You can share the video with other businessmen in your community, so that they can also check. So regarding this, regarding what Kunal said, taking the conversation forward, there's one thing I would like to understand from Ramya was, so is there a checklist for, about the fixed asset, about the inventory? Because a lot of people do have a lot of fixed asset, they do have a lot of inventories with them, whether some of them may be finished goods, some of them can be, some of them can be, work in progress or something like that. So would you like to add, Ramya, 1-2 more points in this conversation?
Yeah, sure. So when it comes to inventory, I'm sure that stock audit is a nightmare for both the chart accountant as well as the business involved. Because, it is extremely rare that the stocks in hand that you have physically match with the stocks as per your accounts.
Correct.
And most of them may not have an automated software for handling, handling the differences, handling the discrepancies. So it is very important by the year end that you, just like what Kunal said for, quarterly balance sheets, you can do a monthly or a quarterly reconciliation of your stocks, which will help you, better manage the stock audit, or better manage the stock reconciliation towards the end of the year. And once you're done, if you're using manual as of now, you can see the prospects of, opting for an automated system in the upcoming years as well. So that is one point I wanted to bring out about inventory audit. Not this inventory audit part will also be equally applicable to fixed assets as well. You'll know the location, you'll know, which accounts all the value and everything, all the depreciation aspects of the fixed assets as well.
Correct.
And apart from that, one more point I'd like to bring out here is backing up of your entire data.
Sure.
So once you have finished, or once you're finalizing your accounts for a financial year, it is important that you have everything, backed up properly. So it may be in the form of virtual, cloud-based Dropbox you have, or you have Google Drive. You have very many other, cloud servers where you can, purchase the servers and, keep your information over there. But again, you have to ensure that there is proper security for that. And some people might go, old school, and they might print out and keep everything in their storeroom as well, to ensure that if something goes wrong with the server, or something goes wrong in their local, systems, then at least they have a physical copy with them. Right. So these are the points that I wanted to add.
Okay. Thank you, Ramya. Thank you, Kunal, for this. So guys, abhi tak we have talked about, in the first part of the session, we talked about the difference between financial year, fiscal year, just the basic. After that, we talked about the checklist, where Kunal and Ramya both spoke about different things that, you can take care of, different things that you can do, to make sure that all of this checklist is, there. Just before the for the new year, just before the new financial year. So next, I'll talk about the plan. All right. So basically, the objective of this webinar is, so that we give some tips, some tricks to our viewers, to our audience, who are mostly startups, who are mostly business owners, who are mostly MSMEs, so that what they need to plan. So, Kunal, I would like to understand from you, about that planning part, because this is what I've seen in a lot of businessmen, that a lack of planning and adopting a set of, of targets, they miss out on a lot of, decision making, and a lot of opportunities they miss out on. So if they create an action plan, this is what we need to do. This is how much marketing we need to do. This is how much, if we need to buy an office space, you need all of this planning. So these guys miss out on a lot of things, if they don't plan it well, then they wait up till the last minute to get things done. And again, like jaise ki, one example I can give you is the depreciation one. Okay, when many few people know the 180 days wala rule, so if less than 180 days you can claim half the depreciation, more than 180 days you can claim more than that. So accordingly, that Kunal, if you can give us some suggestions on how to plan it better.
Right. So in terms of planning, one critical aspect that comes is, how do you plan for your cash flows, the existing cash flow that you have in hand, right? So it's very critical that, you have a tab on the due dates of your vendors. Basically, when do you have to pay them? And also the due date of your receivables. Right, you need to have some like open, if anyone uses open.money, right, they will see one beautiful feature in open.money that you can send reminders to your customers to pay the invoices.
Correct.
Okay, it's not necessary that every time calling is required, right? So this is an effectively in planning itself, that let's take an example, 5 days before the due date, remind your customer that he has to pay for this invoice. Sure. It's a very, so such tools can help people plan for their activities better. Same way for vendors, keep a tab on the due dates. Again, if someone uses open.money, right, they can see on the platform itself that what is the due date of payment to a vendor, right? So these things help you in plan your cash flows better, and that's how open will help them to at least structure their payments or collections in a much more better way.
Correct. So one thing I would like to add to that point is, apart from this, you can also create invoices with inbuilt payment link. All right. So as soon as you send the invoices or you send a reminder and the other party pays through that payment link, whatever the amount is, it automatically gets accounted also. So, if one of my vendors or suppliers pays me through that payment link, in my books, in my dashboard in open money, I can see that there's an accounting also been done, because your bank account, as Ramya mentioned before, your bank account is the most important part of the business, right? Every money goes and comes in through your bank account. So if you link your bank account to a software, so through your bank account you can easily manage your accounting, payment, taxes, expenses, anything. All right, so this is where open money comes in. You link your bank account and everything goes in, comes out, can be managed through open. So Kunal, apart from that, would you have any other point to mention about the planning part?
About one more important aspect is that of a planning is, or a business strategy is that you need to do a SWOT analysis.
Kunal, one second. Sorry to interrupt you. So there was I got a couple of messages that we can do maybe English. People,
Sure.
There are some Hindi speaking audiences also. So let's do in Hindi also.
Sure. So एक और चीज जो होता है SWOT analysis, basically SWOT analysis हमने क्रिकेट में भी देखा होगा, right? आप whenever you read a newspaper, आपने न्यूज़पेपर में भी देखा होगा SWOT analysis. इस SWOT analysis है क्या? It's nothing but strength, weakness, opportunities, threat, right? इसमें there are two things. Strength and weakness is internal. Right? For any business forecast, you need to know, आपको पता रहना चाहिए कि आपकी strengths क्या है, right? अगर आप 10 प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हो, आपको मालूम है कि 6 प्रोडक्ट में आपके strengths हैं, तो आप वो 6 पे फोकस कीजिए. आपके weaknesses क्या है, right? Let's take an example. आपका ऑफिस बहुत ही दूर है सिटी सेंटर से, और आपको दिक्कत हो रही है. How do I manage that weaknesses? नेक्स्ट होता है अपॉर्चुनिटीज एंड थ्रेट, जो एक्सटर्नल होता है. एक्सटर्नल मतलब जो आपके कंट्रोल में नहीं है. अपॉर्चुनिटीज वो है जो मार्केट क्रिएट करता है. सो हाउ डू यू बेस्ट ग्रैब दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी, राइट? दिस इज अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ अ बिजनेस फोरकास्ट. एंड थ्रेट इज समथिंग, वन ऑफ द कॉमन थ्रेट जो मुझे नजर आता है, राइज इन कॉम्पिटिशन या न्यूअर टेक्नोलॉजीज taking over the traditional aspect of doing business, right? How do you overcome that threat, right? That's another aspect. So these 4 terms, किसी भी businessman को अपने pocket में होना चाहिए कि strength, weakness, opportunities, threat. Correct. अब जब भी उसको अगर नींद में भी वो उठ के पूछे कि मेरे strength क्या है, weakness क्या है, opportunities क्या है, threat क्या है, he should be able to tell. Correct. This will help him actually plan for his business much more better way than he is doing it right now.
Correct. Okay. Thank you, Kunal. So as Kunal spoke about the planning part of how you can, plan it better, of the things, of the tips and tricks of, how to, drop it down into different sub segments so that वो इतना बड़ा plan नहीं लगता है. So as Kunal spoke about different things, let's go to Ramya on the same point. And Ramya, would you like to add some points on the planning part of it, of how to take it, take the planning part forward, considering your wholesome taxation expertise? So you can let us know that also, please.
Yeah. So when it comes to planning, obviously budget is the word that comes to our mind. So budget, it's not only for a company, but personally we do a home budget also. Like I'm receiving so much of salary and this much, this a portion is going towards EMI, a portion is going towards my expenses. And based on that, you can decide how much I want to invest, how much I want to save that month. So you do that. That's how, budgeting is important. So when it comes to a company, when it comes to a business also, budgeting is extremely important. You can project your incomes, you can project your expenditure, you can find out through the process of budgeting, you can find out the expenses, which can be avoided, or the expenses, which can be reduced, or you can find out new streams of income. These are, very small examples of what will happen when you actually start budgeting for the next financial year.
Correct.
So basically, there are two important kinds of budgets that you can create for your business. One is a cash flow budget. So cash flow budget will ensure that you have the correct amount of liquid funds, you have the right amount of cash, and you have the right amount of bank balance whenever it is required. So I'll just give you one small example. Again, coming to a GST example of GSTR 3B, which is due every 20th. You know that it is due every 20th. And you know that 20th is the time that you're required to be paying your taxes.
Correct.
Let's assume a situation where you are required to pay taxes in cash and you don't have enough credit to go with that. So the situation that you are in. You've been paying taxes for the last 3-4 years. So now you have to just ensure that at least as on 19th of every month, I should have this much amount of bank balance on an average. Oh. And that should be part of your cash flow budget. This is one example for a cash flow budget.
Okay.
And similarly, there's another kind of budget of profit and loss budget. So this will help you decide the future of your business. What is the profitability of your current product, and whether the current product, if it's going on a loss, is it feasible to continue it for the next few years? Then you can find out the expenses which are duplicated or which can be avoided. So this way you can create budgets. But one more important thing is that you should not just stop with creating budgets. You should also be committed to the budget. So once you have created a budget, you should start working towards it. Every month you have to analyze, I have budgeted 1,000 rupees sales for this month, but I have achieved only 800. Now, what had gone wrong? Why I couldn't achieve the extra 200? So once you find out the reason why something has gone wrong, you will try to rectify that situation in the next month so that you can actually increase your sales. You can touch your budgeted figures.
Sure.
Right? So this is where budget is extremely important. And the other aspect is also, being startups, being MSMEs, especially for startups, the growth is extremely high. In a short period of time, you grow a lot.
Correct.
Not only with respect to profits, but with respect to the employees, with respect to the work that is involved, with respect to investments that you get. So you need to analyze every year what kind of organizational structure I want, what kind of business structure I want. I'm for example, I'm just starting as a sole proprietor, but I have gotten a lot of business and I'm not able to manage it single-handedly. So I will become a partnership firm with someone else. Or I am currently a partnership firm and I'm growing a lot, so I want to become a private limited. So you can take these kind of decisions, based on whatever is a growth trend towards the previous years. And you can also have, a talk with your advisor, talk with your accountant, talk with your, financial advisor who's there, and you can, decide based on that.
Correct.
And again, like I told you, when there is a lot of growth, you need the right financing options.
Correct.
Maybe you are looking to acquire, more machinery to improve or expand your manufacturing business. So in that case, if you want to purchase machineries are costly. So you have to see which method of financing should I opt for. Should I go for a normal loan, business loan? Should I go for overdraft? Should I go for crowdfunding, or should I go to venture capitalists? Right? There are many ways that you can get funds. You have even government grants in certain cases. So you can research all these options that you have in case you want to grow your business, and based on that you can take the decisions. And again, this again becomes part of the budget, and then budget will actually be part of your day-to-day activities.
Correct. Okay. Thank you, Ramya. So basically, this is what, to summarize, this is what Ramya said, to include the budgets, to, keep the taxation part should also be part of the budget of, as you mentioned, 20th is the date. You need to do taxes each time. You know it's going to happen. The business is running. There'll be GST. 20th is the payment date. So, keep adequate bank balance in your account so that, it's very easy for you. As she said, you grow very soon, you grow very large very soon. Keep reviewing your business structure of, if you need any changes where you need to convert to a private limited company, you can have a talk with your co-founders, you can have a talk with your other business owners, you can talk with your, someone who understands finance and all of that. So this is what the objective is. People should understand all of these little terminologies and all, so that even if they go to someone for a higher understanding, at least they have a base of understanding clear, among themselves. So guys, before moving forward, we are almost towards the end of the session. So I would like to just mention one thing. So there's a contest we are running. So if you follow our open pages, on Instagram it's called Bank with Open, on Twitter it's called Bank with Open, on LinkedIn it's called Open Financial Technologies. So if you follow us on social channels, that we've been sponsoring 3 different IPL teams. We are their official dash partner, and this is where the contest comes in. Of all the people, of all the viewers, jo bhi humko sun rahe hain, if all the viewers are listening, this is a question for a concept. This is a question for the contest. You can comment the right answers in the comment section right now, to win exciting cricket merchandise. So, if you follow us, we have partnered with Kolkata Knight Riders, we have partnered with Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers Hyderabad. So 3 different IPL teams we have partnered with. So this is where the contest comes in. You can win exciting, merchandise, exciting goodies of all the 3 teams which I mentioned, which is RCB, which is KKR, which is SRH, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Kolkata. We have partnered with them. The question of the contest, which you need to comment right now, to win exciting goodies, to win the prizes, what is Open partnering with these 3 teams for? So basically, we are official dash partner. What is that dash? What is the question mark? What are we partnering with SRH, KKR, and RCB for? You can comment in the comment section. Comment in the comment section, and you can win exciting goodies. We'll announce the winners towards the end of the session, or our team will get in touch with the winners just after the live session is over. So please start commenting. And if you haven't followed us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, please go follow us. Since the IPL is going on, we are doing a lot of contest, a lot of merchandise, a lot of goodies can be won. So please follow us on all our social channels. You'll find the link also in our YouTube channel link. So please go follow them. All right. So, while people are answering, Kunal, a lot of people are answering in the comment section. Let's see who answers fast and who answers better, and then they can win the official merchandise. What we were discussing before, right? The planning part. Just to conclude that, would you have like another 1-2 points just to, as we talked about the budget, maybe we can talk about how to design it, or how to gain that competitive advantage over others, or how important is, if you define the budget and if you don't communicate to others, it is of no use. So what do you think about that?
Right. So Mohit rightly pointed, communication सबसे ज़्यादा important चीज़ है budget के लिए, right? अगर मैंने budget बना लिया but मैंने मेरी टीम को budget नहीं बताया, वो at least at least that is that part of the budget that is relevant to them, तो
Correct.
फिर I cannot work to, as an organization I cannot achieve those goals if I
Correct.
keep the budget to myself, right? So
Correct.
it is very important that you break down the budget. ठीक है, जो भी आपका प्लानिंग है, जो भी आपने सोच के रखा है,
Correct.
break that down into team wise. Let's take an example. मेरे पास बिजनेस है जो गुजरात में है, मुंबई में है और कर्नाटका में है, ठीक है, और तीनों के लिए मेरे पास अलग अलग टीम है. अब मैंने बजट बना लिया है पूरे कंपनी के लिए या पूरे जो बिजनेस है पूरे बिजनेस के लिए. अब मुझे इंडिविजुअली तीनों को तो बताना पड़ेगा कि क्या है बजट. If we don't do that, then your whole purpose is lost. That's why communication is very important part of the budget. One more important point in the budget is that always plan for emergencies. Now let's take an example. You're in a business where you know that collections might be delayed because of X and Y reason. Do you have sufficient cash flows for the next X number of days to support your business, to support salaries? So that is something that every business have to do, is that plan for emergency fund, because that will be very useful and you don't have to keep running around. And also एक और चीज जो आप कर सकते हो कि आजकल banks भी काफी active है in terms of giving credit facilities, right? So it's always good to have some OD facilities locked in with a bank. ठीक है, वैसे भी OD facility पे interest तब चढ़ता है जब आप draw करते हो, right? At least you can lock in some credit facilities with the bank कि आपको जब emergency रहेगा तब आप वो use कर सको. Correct. Right? Not afterwards कि emergency आ गया तब आप बैंक के पास जा रहे हो. Rather, you should start having your credit lines with you. Start reviewing, at least you should have a backup in your mind. Okay, let's take an example. If the emergency fund comes, I will borrow from this or this company or this bank. You should always plan for these activities, which is very critical because, like I said, everything does not go as per plan, right? Sometimes you will have your ups and downs. Correct. So it's always good to plan for such emergencies or such activities.
Correct. Thank you, Kunal. Thank you, Kunal, for a valuable input. I think it will be much more it will be very useful for all the viewers जो भी हम लोगों को सुन रहे हैं. Kunal ने mention किया what emergency fund is and why it is important. What kind of budget, the right kind of budgets banana is very important. The right kind of communication, to your people, to your team, whether it's in the same office or it's a different office, that is very important. Otherwise, it loses all meaning. आप बना के अपने तक रखेंगे तो it does not make any sense. You'll have to communicate to your team so that the entire organization, आपकी सारी company, आपके जितने employees हैं, वो सब एक collective goal की तरफ work कर रहे हैं. So it is much more easier for everyone to reach that goal. Okay. So now we are towards the end part of the session today. We had an amazing session today. I think a lot of viewers are telling us that they have been benefited from our sessions before also. From today's also, they will share it with different people. So just by concluding, since I know Ramya has been a part of the many businesses, have been giving her valuable input about GST, about different things about taxes, because there's a lot of SSCs, lot of people in our open money consumer base, a lot of people who are in here for this webinar who are GST compliant. Okay, so they need to follow all the GST rules. So Ramya, I would like to understand in brief a little bit about two things. One is if you want to mention anything about GST, the things that they should take care of apart from the dates and all of that we have mentioned. But apart from that, if you have 4-5 points that that the other people should know in the month of April so that they can take care. And apart from that, if there are any policy changes, because a lot of people doesn't read that much about finances and also there is a lot of sometimes there are policy changes and they're not aware of it. This can work in their benefit or not, that depends on luck, but it's always better to have that knowledge. मैं ये बोल रहा था कि आप अगर कुछ भी गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से जीएसटी में पॉलिसी चेंज आता है तो शायद ऐसा हो कि आपको मालूम ना पड़े, बट इट्स ऑलवेज बेटर है कि आपको मालूम होना चाहिए, भले वो आप पे इफेक्ट हो रहा हो डायरेक्टली या इनडायरेक्टली जो भी. सो रम्या से आई वुड लाइक टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आर द पॉलिसी चेंजेस एंड व्हाट आर द पार्ट ऑफ जीएसटी पीपल शुड टेक केयर ऑफ बिजनेसेस.
Okay. So one thing is that GST can never be brief, right? If I have to talk about what all you have to take care when you're doing a GST compliance, it can go for hours and hours together. Correct. But I'll just brief it for the benefit of everyone over here. You can note it down and you can, later on, work on this, but I'm just giving you some pointers that you have to remember. Sure. This is not only for the entire year, but this is also works every month. So make sure that you plan your work every month based on that. So one thing is obviously the ITC reconciliation, the reconciliation that you do between 2As or 2B with GSTR 3B, and that with your purchases in the books, right? So right from 1st Jan of this year, the rule has been changed that whatever ITC that you have to avail should be equal to the amount whatever is available in GSTR 2B. So the 105%, the 110% of 2A, 2B is not, it's not applicable from 1st January 2022. So you make sure that when you are doing your yearly reconciliations, this is taken care of, right? And next is ensure that you have not taken any ineligible credit, like credit on food and consumables, food for employees, and make sure that you're not taking the credit on that, or car insurance, works contract, health insurance. All these are ineligible credit. So make sure you have not availed your credit. So the entire credit, ledger that you have, go through that line by line and make sure that the nature of these expenses are not there, and make sure that it is not, taken as a credit anytime. And one more important thing which a lot of businesses miss out on is the 180 days concept in the GST law for payment to your vendors. So in case you have not paid to your vendors for 180 days and you have taken credit on that particular purchase, if you have not paid to them for more than 180 days, you are supposed to reverse the credit along with interest, 18% per annum interest. So a lot of people have actually missed this out. This has been in the service tax also, but somehow a lot of people are missing it out. But if in case the department notices that, they will notice it, and then that is when we will also notice it, and that will be too late because of the interest cost that will be involved. So make sure that you pay your vendors within 180 days so that you don't need to reverse the credit along with interest. And in case it has been postponed, it has been paid after 180 days, make sure that you reverse it yourself, right, before the department comes behind you.
Sure.
And one more main aspect is reconciliation of your sales, your entire income with GSTR1. You have to also remember that you might have other income like rental income, you have sale of assets. You make sure that on these two also, which actually don't form part of your core revenue from operations, on these also, because there is GST, make sure that you have paid GST on that. Okay. And obviously the reverse charge payments also, once you actually if you have any payments to lawyers, advocates, or to goods transport agencies, there is RCM applicable on that. So make sure you have complied and you have paid RCM for all those categories.
Correct.
So that was on the GST aspect of how you can plan your next year.
Sure.
And apart from that, there are some changes which have started, which are applicable from 1st April 2022, and it's important that we know what all it is. So I'll just mention 3 important ones that are going to come. So that have already come on 1st April. So one thing is e-invoicing. The limit has been reduced to 20 crores. So in case your turnover is 20 crores or more, you're supposed to start adopting e-invoicing. You're supposed to start uploading your details in the government e-invoicing portal so that you can get an e-invoice. Or you can adopt any software, e-invoicing software, which is linked to your accounting software, which will create an e-invoice for you.
Sure. Okay.
Right? And 2 other things from the income tax perspective is the updated income tax return concept, which was brought out in this budget, will be applicable from 1st April 2022. That means whatever returns you're filing for next year, in the next assessment year, this updated income tax return will be applicable.
Okay.
And one more important change through the budget is that the interest is about the interest on your PF account. If you have earned an interest of more than 2.5 lakhs, then that will now be taxable under income tax.
Understood.
So these are the major changes which have been brought out from 1st April 2022, which I wanted to bring to you.
Correct. Okay, Ramya, thank you so much for mentioning all the points about GST, for mentioning all the new new things that have come up regarding that. So guys, if you have missed that what Ramya said, you can obviously find this video on our YouTube channel, which is called Bank with Open. You can go check it out after the live is over, or you can share that with other people in your community who do you think will help in this video. So basically our objective today was to give you a little tips, give you little tricks on how to plan it better, how to plan the next financial year better, so that during from December, January, February, March, you are not pressured into just devoting your time into managing things, into manage your accounts and finance. Rather than you can devote that particular time into focusing on growth, focusing on expansion, focusing on getting more factories, maybe focusing on maybe expansion to the next city, maybe, or anything like that. So I hope it was worth it today. We did a lot of things today. So before ending, I'll end the webinar with the right answer of the contest that we had, and also the announcement of the winners. But before that, since I come from a marketing background, so we talked a lot about planning today. Okay, so how do we plan it? What do we plan it? In that planning, what needs to be taken care of? Like we budgeting, how to do the right kind of budget for GST, what are the things that you need to take care of? But if you make a plan at the start of the year, it's always better to keep reviewing the plan, keep reviewing and updating your plan as you go along. Okay, you don't have to do it every 15 days, but maybe every quarter, maybe every 4 months, maybe every 2 months. Just see, if you make a plan in April, just see maybe in June, July, just see whether as Kunal rightly mentioned, okay, you don't have to कि मेरे को इस साल में मेरे को 15% growth करना है, तो you will not see at the end of March कि मैं 15% grow हुआ कि नहीं हुआ. You will have to divide it into different segments. Each month में you will have to divide कि if I want to grow 15% annually, how much growth do I need per month? How much growth do I need per annum? Per quarter. So remember this regular reviewing of the plan. Keep updating the plan. Remember your goals. Remember your priorities. Assess whether which strategy is working. Whether if you're doing marketing, so if you're doing digital marketing, see whether it is working. If you're doing ATL, BTL, see whether it is working. Adopt to the changes in the environment, because काफी सारे in the industry, depends on the industry that you're in. If you are GST compatible, there are many changes in the industries also. If apart from GST also, if you're into textile or anything, any business of that sort, there can be changes which is external, okay, which is not in your hands. But according to the changes, you need to adopt to these changes. You need to review your plan accordingly, change it, update it, like that. Also, we talked about business. Another thing that I would like to mention towards the end is business automation. We didn't use this word before, business automation, in this webinar, but a lot of things that we talked about, it goes into that hand in hand, business automation. So basically, how business automation helps your business is whatever little repetitive task that you need to do, or your accounting team needs to do, or your finance team does, like daily billing, daily invoicing, checking on payments, checking on expenses, RICO, all of that. All of this can be very easily handled by a software. All you need to do is feed data to the software. Okay, that will save you time, that will save you effort, not just yours, your accounting team, your finance team. So maybe then accounting team, finance team, as Ramya mentioned, can go look into better financing options, right? If they have time, it's not like they will sit and do nothing. They might go and look for better financing options. They might look and go into other expansion options. So all of this business automation is using software. This is where open money comes in. You can use open money. It comes with a business bank account, Visa business card, accounting, managed accounting, banking, taxes, payment, everything in one. You should definitely check it out. There's a free trial also available. Our sales team is all the time available. If you have any questions, you can talk to them at any given point of time. So with this, I conclude my point, and I hope this was for you, it was worth the 1 hour. Maybe even if you're taking 4 points, that you have in mind that I need to do for the next year for my business, I think me, Kunal, and Ramya's time and efforts are worth it. So you can check this video out also. So as coming to the contest again, so I asked you, as we are sponsoring 3 teams, which is RCB, which is KKR, which is SRH, Kolkata, Bangalore, and Hyderabad. I asked you what kind of partner are we with them. So the right answer is we are an official digital banking partner to RCB. We are an official digital banking partner to SRH, and we are an official digital banking partner to Kolkata Knight Riders. So as I said, we are an official digital banking partner. Banking is our main thing. As banking is the main thing in your business also. So, we've been providing all of these digital banking services to big organizations like in IPL, teams like Kolkata, teams like RCB, teams like SRH. So we can provide the services to your business also. If you're looking for a digital banking partner, if you're looking for a business automation software, you should definitely check out Open Money. If you're already using it, then you should check out more services. We have payroll services also. We have managing taxes services also. You should check that out also. So guys, with this, I conclude the webinar today. Once again, I would like to thanks Ramya and Kunal so much for giving their valuable time, giving their valuable input. So thank you, Kunal. Thank you, Ramya, for giving the time. I hope we had a good session, and I hope we'll have more future sessions with you guys, in the very near future.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. So I'll see you in the next webinar. Please go check out our social channels, Bank with Open on Instagram and Bank with Open on Twitter. On these platforms, we'll be doing a lot of contests for IPL. As we saw, 3 teams. We have so many matches up till May first week. We have a lot of merchandise, a lot of goodies to give away. Please go check out. We've been doing a contest there. So please go check out. Please share this video to your other business community people. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And thank you for joining in. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.